friends, thanks for joining me today. We've got an interesting topic that we're going to discuss today that I know impacts a lot of people, and it's that journey of weight loss. It has been a story in my life for lots of years now. We'll talk about it in this video. If I had to title this video, and I am going to have to title it, I think I'm going with frustrating weight loss, because if I had to summarize my journey through the years, that's what weight loss is to me. Very frustrating. I'll start with a little bit of history. So, in my home of origin, or the family that I grew up with, my mom was always thin. She never had an issue with weight. So she was always slender. My dad was always heavyset, and he always had a struggle with weight. When I was in 3rd grade, he went to India, and I think he came back and he had lost like 50 pounds. So it took going to a foreign country that didn't have certain food options for him to lose all of that weight. And then eventually he did gain it back. I maintained a small size through elementary school, high school, and college. When I got married, my wedding dress was a size 7. It wasn't until I had babies that I started facing issues with my weight. I gained 30 pounds with my daughter. I lost that. Then I had my son, and I gained 30 pounds with him. Now, he was a big baby, so he was 10 pounds, 3 ounces. It took me longer to recover or to lose the weight after Justin, and I didn't get down as small. So I only got back down to about a size 10 after Justin. Courtney and Justin were 24 months apart, and Justin and Nathan were 22 months apart. So it was really my last two that impacted my weight, with Nathan and Brandon being 16 months apart. My body never recovered from one baby going to the next baby, and then I joke and say that I still have my baby weight, and it's been 23 years. So I think it's time to lose that excuse. But you know, it's hard to let go of things. So as the kids were growing up in elementary school, for me, it was personally very hard to keep that schedule dealing with them and having a workout routine. It wasn't until I was in my 40s that my husband and I began running together. And so that did help as far as physical fitness, but I still wasn't seeing a lot of weight loss from the running. I ran my first 5K when I was in my 40s, and then when the kids were all teenagers, and I think Courtney might have been in college, we did a sprint triathlon together. And a sprint triathlon is running, swimming, and biking, but it's not long distances. It's like a 2-mile run, a shorter swim, and I think a 10-mile bike, which that probably pushed me more than anything. So when we did that triathlon, I was probably the fittest I've been in the last decade or two. And that's probably what my goal as far as getting back to for my next target. And then hopefully I can lose down after that, because I really kind of want to reset at this stage of my life so I can move forward to my elder years nice and healthy. Now, after I had that baby weight I was talking about, I tried just about every plan under the sun. I've done quick weight loss. I've done Nutrisystem. I have done Optiva. And the most recent one is getting some of the Simplast keto bars. We'll talk about keto more in a minute. For me personally, I typically can lose about 10 pounds on these programs. I find I tire of the shakes or the processed foods. I'm not a real processed person, so it starts getting on my nerves after a few weeks. I like natural stuff, and so it's really not a good plan for me. So hopefully with my next plan, I'll have a little bit more success. Before Thanksgiving, I was able to lose about 10 pounds. I'm getting up to a weight that's really not a good place for me to be, and I refuse to go to the next clothing size. So the option was go ahead and start losing some weight, and I did. I did okay through Thanksgiving, but then it was really Christmas that was my problem. Obviously, you're always tempted with all the Christmas parties and all the food. And I did indulge a little bit, but really not too much. But the main culprit of my Christmas demise was that anytime I had an inkling to go get a Starbucks, away I went. And then they were doing their stars, and if you got 3 days in a row, you'd get so-and-so stars, or this or that. And you know, I'm a sucker for a challenge, and so I took Starbucks up on it, and I was getting all kind of yummy coffees. Well, those yummy coffees have lots of calories and lots of carbs in them, and boy, don't you know, I put all that weight right back on. So Starbucks, I'm putting them on hold for now. At work, we've got a weight loss challenge, and I'm excited to be on the team that I'm on, because one of the people on the team is my coworker who's right across the hall. So it's nice to have that encouragement and accountability right across the hall. I'm hoping that this accountability piece of friends and coworkers that I know and weighing in every Friday is going to make a difference. From the beginning of our weigh-in, the first loss I saw was a 3-pound loss. The problem was I didn't take my shoes off with that first weigh-in, so I wanted to be fair and follow the rules. So I reset, and then after that, I had a 3-pound loss one week, and then I had a 2-pound loss, and this past week I had a 1-pound loss. So I'm going to keep you updated on the progress of our weight loss challenge. So I originally had been trying to do low carb, and I'm thinking that there's too much flexibility for me on that. My son had done keto, and he has already lost 50 pounds. I think he started maybe in July or August, and so it's been so impressive to see him do it, but he is steadfast with it. And it's hard for me to be that diligent in fixing meals and having company and having parties. So I thought low carb would work with me, but obviously, like I said, Starbucks helped to sabotage that. So my new plan that I'm going to try to do going forward is a low sugar to no sugar, and then to get off caffeine, because I have a terrible caffeine addiction with Diet Mountain Dew. I'm not a huge coffee drinker. I like flavored coffees and dessert coffees, but Diet Mountain Dew is my downfall. So I can get caffeine-free Diet Mountain Dew at Ingles, so I've loaded up on that, and I have to wean off. So if I'll wean off the caffeine, then I can drop that, and then ultimately get to water. So I'm hoping to be, and I do indulge in the flavored waters. One way that I love water, my assistant is so sweet. She has to go out of the room in the morning, and on her way back, she stops and gets both of us a water. She doesn't like lemon in her water, but I do like lemon in mine, and she'll put a lemon in my water, and she's on our weight loss team too. So that's also a big help, because she and I can talk about what we're eating and how things are going. But my favorite thing in water are limes. So I have stocked up on my limes, and I'm ready to make that transition from my caffeinated drinks to my lime water. So I'm hoping my lime water is going to be a winner. And then when I am wanting a slight amount of caffeine while I'm making the transition, I used to get, I can't remember who makes it. I think it may be Nescafe, or someone makes a coffee, and they have a low calorie one. Well, I checked the carbs and the sugars in it, and even though it is a lower calorie, I think it has 1/3 of the calories, it still has a lot of carbs and sugar in it. So I went with a medium roast Starbucks iced coffee. It's only got 15 calories, and it has 3 carbs. I can't see the sugars. I don't have my glasses on. I guess it doesn't have any sugar in it. So I've got this. I'm not a straight coffee girl, so that's not going to work for me. But I did pick up some International Delight sugar-free caramel macchiato to add to it. So hopefully this will help me transition from a morning coffee or my dessert-flavored coffees to kind of coming off of those as well. And then the last thing I wanted to share with you, that's one thing I'm going to try to do as I'm cutting back on the sugars, is because I do love some chocolate, and every now and then I'll have a craving, and I know I'm going to have to come off of it. I'm not going to be able to go cold turkey, because if you give me any kind of stress, I had a technology competition with kids, and it just makes me feel stressed, and all I can think is, I want some chocolate. And so I'm using a little trick that a good friend of mine who is 80-something years old every morning she has a handful of chocolate chips. And so I like dark chocolate as well as semi-sweet chocolate. So I saw some Nestle Toll House dark chocolate piece, they're morsels. Yeah, I guess so they are the chips. I've seen them in squares too, but these are the chips. And so I thought, well, I'm gonna have these on hand, and when I get my chocolate craving, it's not as bad as a candy bar. And I know I won't eat many of them because with the dark chocolate taste, I can't eat many of them. So I'm hoping with these little tricks, I'll be able to get my weight loss, actually to continue my weight loss. I have had some, but unfortunately it was those Christmas pounds that I put back on. So I'm ready to get on down. And if I can hit some of my goals, I'll start sharing numbers. You know, isn't it funny how hesitant we are to share weight loss numbers? I know I am. But if I can get down to where I want to be, then I'll be more than willing to share my numbers. What I need from you is if you've got some great websites, I would love for you to share them down below, maybe where you can find some good advice or great recipes. I will say that when I was pregnant with Justin, and he was 10 pounds 3 ounces, that I had gestational diabetes with him. So I had to watch my sugar, and I came across some diabetic dessert recipes. So I'm going to share those videos. I'll make those videos in the next week or two. One is a sugar-free chocolate mousse, and the other one is a low-sugar white chocolate yogurt, and they are yummy. So I'll make those for you and share that with you. But if you've got anything you'd like to share with me, just leave it in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait to hear from you, and I hope I can come back and give you some great news on my weight loss. This frustrating journey, will it ever end? If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you subscribe.